All right, good afternoon and welcome to the ERS Market View this Tuesday. It is 2 p.m. Central African time, and I'm very delighted to have you join us on this very exciting program. I am your host, Sifiso Ngumala, as we bring you today's top business stories with the insights that you need to make sure that you navigate the business landscape as you should. Here's what's on the agenda today. First, we dive into the tax scene as the Eswatini Revenue Service urges taxpayers that are facing issues with the tax ease online platform to seek immediate support. Commissioner General Brightwell Nkambule reassures that their agents are on a standby, ready to provide swift assistance across multiple platforms, ensuring a seamless tax filing season, or rather tax filing experience this season. And then next, we turn to a pressing issue in real estate, the unregulated nature of real estate agents in Eswatini that has led to over 600,000 Malangeni that has been lost to fraudulent schemes in the past 8 months. With the Minister of Housing set to table the Real Estate Agents Bill, Musanhlego, the chairperson of the Eswatini Realtors Association, offers key advice to those looking to buy property and avoid scams. We do have our Enterprise Watch segment today, and once again we're going to hear more from the Commissioner General Brightwell Nkambule, as he outlines several new initiatives as the Eswatini Revenue Service is introducing to enhance service delivery. These include extended service hours and the implementation of more technology to boost customer satisfaction during this year's Customer Service Week. That conversation had a very candid one with our business journalist Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla. Finally, we're going to decode today's market indices with Sanele Sibia, who is our in-house economist. He's going to bring us the latest insights as well as all the trends that you need to know to wrap up the show today. Stay tuned for an in-depth discussion as well as expert analysis on all the things that we've just discussed. Let's start the show by looking at today's business news. Right, on our first story, the Eswatini Revenue Service says taxpayers who encounter challenges as they use the online platform Tax Ease should contact the service this tax filing season, as agents are always on standby to help with any queries across different platforms. The Commissioner General Brightwell Nkambule says the turnaround time for getting responses is very swift. This is to ensure prompt assistance to their clients.
We are right now still in the filing season. The deadline for PAYE returns was on the 30th of September. And the PAYE returns, the recons, and indeed we've seen a lot of recons come through. We are currently, looking at the responses and attending to queries, because some of our clients have queries. We're attending to the queries. And overall, we are very happy. One point to add is that this year we are using a different platform. We are now on Tax Ease. So the recons are coming into Tax Ease, clients are uploading directly. The next deadline will be on the company income tax returns, and the deadline there is 30th October. Again, the platform is different, as I indicated earlier. We are now accepting the returns on Tax Ease. One might just add that we encourage our clients to come early, because this is a new platform. They may not be familiar with it. They may have challenges with logins. So we're encouraging them not to wait for the last minute of the deadline, but to come early. The last deadline is 30th November. This is now for individuals who are earning multiple incomes. There may be employees who are earning multiple incomes, or those who are just running businesses. Again, we encourage them to come early, to not wait for the last minute of the last hour of the last day to file their returns, to come early, because they will be submitting their returns into TaxEase, a platform some may not be familiar with. We would like to encourage our clients to file on time and pay on time, not only to avoid penalties, but also, to support development of the country, because that's where the taxes go, and also that it becomes disruptive to business if they don't comply with their tax obligations. So where they where they are late on filing, the penalty is 20% of the liability, and where they pay late, it's 18%. And we definitely would encourage our clients to avoid these are unnecessary costs. Businesses should make money, and excess money should be reinvested into the business. So as far as possible, they should avoid finding themselves in situations where they will have to pay either late filing penalties or late payment penalties.
Real estate agents are not regulated in the country, and as the Ministry of Housing prepares to table the Real Estate Agents Bill in Parliament, over 600,000 Emalangeni has been lost through fraudulent activities. This is only in the last 8 months in the industry as people are being conned. The chairperson of the Eswatini Realtors Association, Musanhlego, has some good advice on what those seeking to buy property can do to avoid being scammed.
In a telephonic conversation, Senior Superintendent Nicholas Jelle says the exact amount lost in fraudulent real estate activities in the last 8 months is 695,340 Emalangeni. Chairperson of the Eswatini Realtors Association, Musanhlego, says having the Real Estate Agents Bill passed into law will help curb fraud in this sector.
We are hopeful that a number of issues will be addressed. One of those issues would be the issue of conveyancers. Some conveyancers are also selling property because the law will easily identify who is supposed to be an estate agent and who is not supposed to. And then the issue of valuers. We have valuers who are valuating this side. On the other hand, they are also selling property. So there is a lot of conflict that is going on there. We've got bankers who, if a client comes carrying a deed of sale from company A, when they get to the bank, you'll find that the banker will say, you know what, I know another property of the same price. Please go, because they are expecting something maybe from that estate agents. So a number of these issues will be covered because there are so many issues that you get on the ground where people are getting robbed just maybe out of ignorance. Maybe someone is well known. So once the regulations are in place.
He has also given tips to avoid being defrauded in the real estate industry.
We know a number of cases where realtors or estate agents, you would get cases of the issue of a finder's fee. There's a problem with that because when a buyer requests someone to sell their property, as an estate agent or a realtor, the only thing I have to do is to get paid at the end of the sale. We've had issues, stories of people getting, being made to pay for adverts. Whenever there's an advert, the seller has to pay. So what we can, how maybe best we can caution potential sellers and buyers is always check with the banks, people that normally work with, check with conveyancers, people that they normally work with, and then also check with the association to see if that person is legit, so that we make sure some of these things do not happen.
In a telephonic interview, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Simon Zwane, says they are currently incorporating the input of their stakeholders into the bill. He said they will then present it in Cabinet and then later take it to Parliament. He emphasized that they are giving the bill all attention to stop the fraud in this industry. For Market View, Nelson Langamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
All right, that was our business news from the relationship that ERS is forging with its clients to how to, regulate yourself and, the advice that you need within the regulation industry. Let's venture now into our Enterprise Watch. It's a discussion sit down. Right, just 11 minutes after 2. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching the ERS Market View this Tuesday. All right, the Eswatini Revenue Service has outlined several initiatives that are aimed at enhancing service delivery. These include exploring the possibility of extended working hours, as well as leveraging new technology to improve customer satisfaction. Commissioner General Brightwell Nkambule shared these plans as part of the activities that are lined up for Customer Service Week, highlighting ERS's commitment to building sustainable and robust relationships with its clients.
Commissioner General, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are celebrating Customer Service Week. Could you please share your perspective on the importance of this occasion for the Eswatini Revenue Service?
Well, Customer Service Week is important for us because, we get to showcase to our clients how important service is to us, how important service is to voluntary compliance, which is the major purpose of the ERS, to improve voluntary compliance in order to mobilize revenue for the government. So this week, the Customer Service Week, is a period where, we really focus on service and showcase our commitment to service.
Mm-hmm. What activities, Commissioner General, has the ERS have planned for this week, and how do this align with your commitment to enhance customer experience?
Okay, we will be launching a number of initiatives to show our customers and our clients our commitment to service. So in each and every border post around the country, the officers have been sensitized about how to bring it up to customers, to our clients, to talk about it, and make sure that we remain committed to the standards that we have set. The theme this year is above and beyond. So we will be sharing with our clients our successes, sharing testimonials on how we have, over the years, achieved this very, very big milestone. So our officers will be sharing their testimonials on social media. We'll be, sharing them with customers as they come through our service centers, so that they can see for themselves what we're talking about when we say we go beyond the call of duty.
We've seen the Eswatini Revenue Service introducing different initiatives for the taxpayers in order to help them or make it easier for them to pay tax. What feedback are you receiving, and how is this feedback helping you as you are trying to improve customer service?
Okay, we've received very positive feedback, actually, since we made the commitment back in 2022, the commitment to service. We've received very positive feedback from our clients. A lot of them have commented about how officers have gone beyond the call of duty to support them. Some would provide support to clients even after hours. Mm-hmm. Others would provide support to clients even on weekends. So that's the feedback that we have received. We've received feedback from clients saying our officers, interact with them with humility, with courtesy. They've told us about how they are now free, to come to us even when they have problems. You would recall that we launched Sonzela's Kulume campaign, which is one of the campaigns where we were actually making the pledge to clients that, we are here to you, we are here for you. There's not a single problem that we believe we cannot solve that is tax related. And indeed, we've had customers come forward with a variety of challenges. And I'm happy to say that we are able to resolve all their challenges, all, not some, all their challenges, all their tax-related challenges. Well, others would come and say, I have a tax debt of so much, and this debt accumulated over a certain period, and right now I am coming over to ERS, and I'm saying to ERS, I acknowledge this debt. However, if ERS were to attempt to liquidate the debt at once, the business would have to close. Okay, and we would say, okay, we understand you have a problem. We also understand that this debt is so big now that if we were to force that you liquidate all of it here and now, your business will close. We then agree on payment terms. We then agree that they stagger, the repayment of the debt, and with installments that the client would be able to absorb. But the condition is the current obligations should be honored. That's always the condition. That honor the current obligations, then we work out on debt repayment terms.
We understand, Commissioner General, that the Eswatini Revenue Service has outlined service standards as a commitment to clients. Can you elaborate what do these standards mean, especially for the organization as well as the taxpayers?
Okay, the first one is respect. Here we are saying to the client, we will always interact with you with humility, with courtesy, and every point of contact, be it a border post or a walk-in interaction in a service center or through the phone, we will always interact and deal with you with respect. The other one is speed. Here we are saying we will deliver service according to the service pledges that we have made, according to our service charter. In our service charter, we make commitments to turn around a variety of services within specified timelines. And then the other one is communications. Now, in communications, we are saying all the time, we will never catch you by surprise. We will always make sure that whenever we make changes, to the tax procedures, we will always communicate with you so that nothing catches the client by surprise. And we've always upheld all these commitments to our clients. One of our standards is visibility. So with this standard, we are making the commitment that we will always be available where needed, be it on the physical locations, the service centers, or even on digital platforms. We will always be visible. And on the on physical visibility, our officers will always be visible at our in their duty stations, be it the border posts, be it service centers. They'll always be visible looking professionally in their uniforms, with their name tags, so that clients can easily identify them and be aware of who they are.
Having such standards, Commissioner General, is such a bold move, especially for an organization as important and critical as yours. But I want to find out if you have any mechanisms in place to ensure that the standards that you've put forward are being upheld.
We introduced a system called the Net Promoter System back in 2016 or 2017. So we've been tracking feedback from clients through the system, right? And we have noted significant improvements since we rebranded ourselves in 2022. We've noted significant improvements in the NPS. Also, we've got virtual service centers just behind us, where we receive calls telephonically from our clients. We receive them through, text messages, through the chat that is on our website. We track the turnaround time there as well, and all the KPIs are telling us that service is indeed improving.
Before I let you go, Commissioner General, I want you to talk to us about the key priority areas regarding customer service. Are there any pain points that you are seeking to address in future in order to improve your service delivery?
Well, definitely, we provide service during working hours. That's between 8 and 5. And yet, some of our clients will be doing their tax affairs beyond 8 to 5. We provide service Monday to Friday. Some of our clients will be requiring support beyond Monday to Friday. So that is an area that we are working on very closely to provide service beyond just your normal working hours. And we're looking at a variety of options there. We're looking at, working in shifts, and eventually bringing in technology now to support the officers. So we're looking at various technology that will enable even, the most common, enable responses to the most common problems that clients have. And we are in a, digital transformation phase now. I'm sure everywhere you go, you hear people talking about artificial intelligence. So we're looking at such technology as well to augment what we have right now.
Thank you so much, Commissioner General, for joining us on the show. We are hopeful that taxpayers will be able to see that you are going above and beyond as they continue to interact with the service.
All right, that was our Enterprise Watch. Thank you for staying with us. We shift gears now and we look into our market analysis. The current global financial landscape is showcasing some really notable shifts today. We are witnessing a downturn in major indices. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is dropping nearly 400 points, marking a decline of 0.94%. Similarly, the Nasdaq Composite has taken a hit, falling by 1.18% or over 213 points. Over in Europe, the FTSE 100 isn't faring much better, down 1.08%. This is after losing 89 points, reflecting a broader sense of caution in market sentiment. Sanele Sbia is going to help us, understand these trends and delve deeper into today's market movement. Sanele, welcome to the program. In the interest of time, please go over everything.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ngumalo, and good afternoon to the viewer. So what we are seeing, basically, starting with the US, if you notice, you will see that markets actually lost all the gains that they had made the previous day, which was actually on Friday. That is actually on the background of, the very hot jobs market data that we saw coming out of the US, signaling that, inflation might come back, and also signaling the fact that we do not expect the Federal Reserve Bank to actually cut interest rates by much bigger margins. And then that means we are now taking a slower path towards softer landing. So that's what we are looking into, and we are just waiting to see how inflation comes out this week, and we're starting the start of earnings season, so that might actually breathe some life back into the US markets. But what we are seeing on the background is there is that improvement in terms of the bond yields. So we are seeing capital shifting from equities back into bonds because of this uncertainty that is now in the markets, also coupled with the uncertainty that is in the Middle East. Moving on to Europe, we are seeing relatively the same story. But interesting to note in Europe is the fact that we are seeing China, or actually mainland China, imposing a tariff on brandies that are imported from Europe. This is actually a retaliation in terms of what we saw happening with the electronic vehicle market, where the European markets actually imposed a very hefty tariff on Chinese electronic vehicles. So the markets are moving and are signaling that, and they're showing that in Europe. You can see France, which is one of the major spirit makers across the globe, is really not doing well against the background of that. And further and above, if you look into London, you can see that, the miners didn't perform very well, also on the background of the demand that we're seeing in China, with the Chinese market, with the Chinese government not tabling another $80 billion stimulus, which the markets expected, while they're waiting to see what is happening in terms of the current stimulus that they floated at the beginning of the month, or early towards the end of last month. And then when we are shifting into the Asian markets, you can see again that the cautious effects of the interest rate cuts and the instability in the Middle East is weighing heavily on Asian markets. We saw that the Shanghai Composite Index has actually lost about 2,000 points, just surging back, climbing back to around 20,000, while we're just celebrating that they're now back on the 22,000 mark, pre-pandemic levels. And then when you look into mainland China, you'll see that markets there are faring relatively well, while, we are still looking at whether those stimulus are working or not. And what we are seeing there is, if you look at the housing market, it seems to be rebounding somewhat, and I think the markets are reading into that to show that there is that improvements in markets, but we're still worried whether that is going to be sufficient to get back demand to sustainable levels globally and continue to drive the global economy. Coming into South Africa, what we are seeing there is, given that demand story coming out of China and miners not performing well relatively across the globe, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange has also lost, above 1,000 points, climbing back to the 85 mark, while we are waiting to see how the global economy is going to turn out and how the Chinese market is also going to pan out. And then in the domestic front, we're seeing that things are still as they were. Nothing has changed in Eswatini in regards to the Eswatini Stock Exchange, but we are entering earnings season, and we are watching out to see, the new entrants into the market. We're waiting to see how FNB is going to fare, and we're waiting to see how Ngonyeni Precast is going to fare, because Ngonyeni Precast still has some shares to sell, so that might actually spur some activity into the markets after the earnings season. Now coming into commodities, what we're seeing in terms of commodities is, Brent crude is on the touch of an 80 mark. That's purely because of those shifts of the conflict in the Middle East. But there is also an issue around demand. That's why we're not yet seeing the price of Brent crude climb above 80. Ideally, if the conflict was the only issue that markets were considering, it would have climbed above 80. We're seeing gold remaining steady around 2.6, signaling that there's still a lot of that uncertainty. We have not yet moved to a hedging market, to an investing market. So the markets are still hedging, trying to protect against inflationary risk, against exchange rate risks. Coming into the exchange rate markets, what we are seeing is, the domestic currency has lost ground across against all major markets. One of those important factors there is that issue of demand in China. Holding back that $80 billion stimulus has actually forced markets to rethink and recalibrate their demand expectations and whether China has done enough to get the economy out of the woods. And we're seeing Japan really coming in strong with, their monetary policy. The yen is really gaining ground across the globe. Thank you, Mr.
Sanele, thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. Thank you to our viewers as well for staying with us on the show. That was it, the ERS Market View this Tuesday. Thank you for staying with us on the program. We have come to the end of the program. Go ahead and have yourself a great afternoon. Goodbye.